everybody, this is Matthew Movies coming at you with my review of JCVD, the 2008 crime drama that I think is a pretty interesting film. There are parts of it that I absolutely adore. This is not a movie that, I would sit there and say, I was infinitely rewatchable. It's one of my favorite Van Damme movies. No, it's one of the Van Damme movies that I respect the most. In fact, I would say it is definitely the Van Damme movie that I respect the most, but I don't think it's like infinitely rewatchable like, some of his classic movies like Bloodsport and that kind of ilk. It's an interesting film. I have a great deal of respect for it. For those of you who don't know what it's about, essentially, this is the Jean-Claude Van Damme vehicle. I mean, from beginning to end, it's all about him. The plot of the movie, it focuses on a version of him that you are introduced to, and again, I don't think that this is too much of a stretch to say it's probably fairly close to his own reality. Essentially, he's an out-of-work actor, washed-up actor that, when he's out and about, people still come up to him all the time, or they're looking for autographs, and they just adore the guy, and they see him as this movie star, but in reality, he's down on his luck. Financially, he's absolutely strapped. Going into this movie, there's a situation that comes up that he needs a vast amount of money very quickly, and he doesn't really know how to get it, because he's no longer getting the acting gigs that are raking in the dough like he used to, and he's just down on his luck. He's frustrated. He still feels like he's got some juice left in the tank, but nobody wants to employ him. And then he enters a bank, and all of a sudden a bunch of robbers come in, and they're robbing the place, and it just kind of goes from there. A lot of it is kind of his internal monologue. You get kind of introduced to the way he sees the world. It's kind of cool because the bank robbers recognize who he is, and they're very much interested in talking to him about his life, and they want him to show him how he does like the roundhouse kick and all that kind of stuff. And it just goes from there. And essentially throughout the rest of the movie, he kind of operates as a go-between for the police and the criminals, and you're questioning because you know that he needs a bunch of money, whether or not he's doing it for altruistic reasons, or if he's going to try to take advantage of the situation in order to enrich himself, and it just kind of goes from there. And really, at the end of the day, this movie, it's all, like I said, it's all about Van Damme, and you have to respect the performance that he gives in this. I think by far it is the best acting he has ever done. I mean, there's nothing even remotely close in my view in his history. I mean, I've always enjoyed his movies, but he's never been like, he's always just been like the guy who's gonna do the splits and the roundhouse kick, and yeah, there's a little bit of that in here because it's written into the script that they would want him to show him, and you could probably argue that maybe he had that written in the script because he wanted to show off his moves, but at the same time, if I was a bank robber and I had him at gunpoint, I'd probably be like, hey, do that roundhouse kick, do that splits. I'd like to see that in real life. So I don't think it's too far outside of the realm of possibility. But I mean, the guy just absolutely nails it in this, and it's fascinating too, because you definitely, like I said, you do not think about him as being like this great actor, but it makes you really wonder, like, if he'd been given more meaty roles to really sink his teeth into where his career could have gone, because he does a great job in this, and there is also a large part of you when you're watching this that makes you think that, or at least there was a large part of me that thought that that probably wouldn't be the case, because it's only now where he's been through so much, and he's playing a character that's so in tune with who he is that he was able to really access just a pool of emotion that allowed him to give this performance. I mean, there is a single take sequence where he is addressing the camera and talking about his life and his regrets and his mistakes, and he's just so fraught with emotions throughout it. It's just a very emotional sequence, and it really blows you away as somebody, blew me away at the very least, and I'm sure most people who've seen it, as somebody who's followed his career for the last 20 years, and I've watched him my entire life, to see what he was doing with this role. It was just absolutely outstanding. It just it's the moment when I think about this movie, that's the sequence I think about by far. I mean, he just absolutely kills it. I enjoy this movie. Like I said, it's not going to be one that I would say is infinitely rewatchable. It's a movie that I respect a lot more than I love, if you know what I mean. Like, if I was going to give it a score out of 10, I'd probably give it like a 7.5, 8, somewhere in that area. I mean, very, very well done for sure, but not one. There's that single sequence just absolutely, just gets to you, and I could throw on a YouTube video of it right now and just be like equally blown away without any of the stuff around it. And the stuff around it is all quality. Don't get me wrong, but that's just really the only part that really affected affected me. The rest of it, it was more of a, wow, that was interesting, and I really thought it was well done, but it just didn't necessarily get like a big emotional response from me. So those are my thoughts on JCVD. Let me know in the comment section below what you think, if you feel like that's a fairly accurate score, if you were equally blown away by that sequence, whatever. Other than that, please hit that like button, hit that share button. It makes it much more likely that other people come check out this review, which is something I absolutely adore because I love talking to people about movies. And speaking of which, if you are new here or you just haven't done it yet, please, please, please hit subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you can find out when I put out a new video. You can come give me that feedback and we can have that back and forth. That would be absolutely outstanding. Aside from all that though, have yourself a good day.